Hello, investors. It is Connor Bates, Associate Portfolio Manager at Revere Asset Management. Today is Tuesday, November 5th, 4:34 p.m. Eastern Time, coming to you with tonight's Revere Roundup Daily Market Insight video. So market state, pretty strong bounce today, but we're still leaving that as short-term pullback. There's a lot of events this week, the election tonight and FOMC on Thursday. So still just being aware of everything that's coming to the market right now. If we look at the trend gauge over here, market leaders, we have them as neutral. Pretty mixed action. Couple nice earnings reports as well today. Short term, this was down, but we're moving it back to neutral. The S&P closed back above today, but there's a lot of volatility to be expected later this week, so we'll have to take that day by day. Medium term, we have the green arrow as well, and it's nice to see RSP and the Dow with a nice bullish reversal there today. And then long term, our 200-day moving average, we remain above. And if I sound a little different today, I'm coming down with a cold, so that's the reason. So yeah, we saw a broad rally today. And let's take a look at the final numbers. 21 over 21 list was up 5.7%. And that was largely due to Palantir being up 20% on earnings. A-Lab was up almost 40%. And then Reddit was another one that was up over 10% today. So all of them were green on the day. That's good to see. Big 8 was up 1.64%. RG8 up 2.19%. The S&P up 1.23%. RSP up 1.17, QQQ up 1.28, Equal Weight up 0.99, Dow Jones up 1.02, Mid Caps up 1.45, Russell 2000 up 1.9, 60/40 up 0.8, and in-house GROTECTION up 2.03. So as usual, we'll get into the inter-asset correlation and the S&P 500. So yeah, I mean, pretty textbook technical bounce today, held right at the 50-day, and we put in a nice upside reversal, reclaiming the 8 and 21. So obviously today's low will be a key line in the sand. And again, I'll probably mention this numerous times on the video, but could see some wild action in the futures tonight. So just take it day by day. But if you didn't know anything was going on from a technical perspective, this looks good. And I'll just pull up a 60-minute C and, held that 5,700 on 2 attempts. And now we're starting to fill this gap. So that's another level to keep an eye on, 5820 area. But daily looks constructive, and today's low will be critical. RSP, really good to see here. You could see there's a pretty obvious downtrend line here, and putting a 3-bar break back above all key moving averages. Seeing this RS line try to hook back up as well. Good to see. QQQ, similar thing, held the 50-day and got back above the 8 and 21, and kind of still in this range. 500 is obviously the big level that might fuel the larger move and breakout, but this 50-day and these lows here remain critical, but good to see reversal. And I don't think many people had today on their bingo card today, but it's a great thing about the stock market. Once 930 hits, anything can happen. Mag 7 looks pretty good, retesting top of this base as well, and hooking back up. Dow Jones, similar look to RSP, breaking this downtrend line, reclaiming back above all moving averages. Mid caps super strong today, up 1.42%. And this chart looks really good. So you obviously had some supply here. This was the initial breakout spot here, came back in, and now a very powerful statement day today. So let's see if this can continue. Russell 2000, again, similar picture, starting to see minor relative strength here. And maybe this VCP picture that I've been talking about is coming to life. You had one pullback, 2, 3, final contraction, maybe before this moves higher. The market likes whoever's picked for the election. That could be a catalyst to fuel small caps out of this space. Has been trading in a range since July, so that could bring some momentum, especially into some of the growth stocks that we traffic in. VIX still above 20, but this is coming down. Almost got into that 23 area, just about, and now it's coming back in. And historically speaking, VIX tends to elevate into the election, and maybe that was already priced in and now it's coming down. And then one thing I did know on Friday, put to call ratio, or I saw it on Friday, the put to call ratio hit, I want to say it was 1.12 on Friday, which is historically super high. So clearly people were buying some insurance and some fear was into the market, but obviously price action rules and seeing a lot of things come back with elevated fear can be a good formula for higher prices. The dollar, this was another thing fueling the market today, back below the 200 day, and kind of expected to see this pull back. It's breaking the 21, but this is a big move for the dollar from, here all the way up there. So pulling back here, and this comes down further, that could provide some fuel for equities. And even then, given this big move, the S&P is still right under highs. So this even comes back down to these lows. There's quite a lot of room for the market to rally. Gold just kind of forming a base here again. This is just a beautiful trend. Not much else to say. GDX sitting at the 50-day. Gold stock showing relative weakness to gold, the spot, but sitting right at the 50-day. That 40 level seems key to hold. Silver coming back into this base slash pivot, kind of just likely just forming another flag here. Bitcoin super strong today. Yesterday it was looking weak, but found support right at the 21 day, bouncing back up and just about closing above the 8 EMA. And I think what it's doing is really good. When it was coming into here after a huge move from, 33 to 42, it was short-term extended and everybody was watching that breakout. So if you bought this day, you likely got stopped out, but now it's coming back in and it could be handling out here. And I think that would make this look even better. Bonds putting an upside reversal here at the 200-day moving average, pretty big downtrend line. TLT, same look below the 200-day. And with bonds up, seeing rates come down a little bit, and that's also was helping some of the rate sensitive sectors. Maybe if it breaks lower out of this, little box shelf consolidation, that would be, again, another reason that small caps, rate sensitive sectors might find some relief. And same picture here, kind of, this is a pretty big move here. So pull back, see if it holds a 200-day, and could provide some more fuel. So that's the inter-asset correlation. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. So we still got it short-term pullback. Obviously, big week ahead, the elections tonight. So, a lot of people say if this person wins, if this person wins, really no one knows anything. We're just going to follow price and see what the price action tells us because, could be a sell the news event for either party. If people think someone wins and the market's going to rip, maybe it rips and then comes back in, vice versa. The market gaps down and then goes green. So really no predictions from us. I don't think anyone even has any idea. So we're just going to follow the price. And then Thursday as well, the FOMC 25 basis points is basically guaranteed at this point. So we'll see going into today. So on the keys, we did hold the 50-day and we got back above the 21, but very sitting right there. So we'd like to see this further breakaway to have confirmation. And the QQQ, same thing. So given how close these levels are, we're still going to be watching that tomorrow. And then obviously the election volatility slash trend, what sectors do well under who, and how does the market take whoever wins the election. So back up to up one, and then, one day above the 8, one day above the 21 after briefly being below. Sectors wise, it was very broad-based rally today. Pretty much majority of the sectors were green. You had Bitcoin, home builders, especially with rates coming down, software. We noted that software is one of the better looking sectors right now, and that's breaking out. Biotech seeing some momentum right now, and November historically is one of the strongest months of the year for biotech. And then, you had that VKTX news, which initially prompted that higher, but that came all the way back. But nevertheless, that's looking good, and lower rates should support the sector. Tech was strong, real estate, semiconductors, and then weakness, uranium and the dollar. And then so in-house today, we just hedged with SPXS. basically hedging our S&P exposure. Our beta is now below a 1, so we're less than the S&P 500, and basically, you never know what can happen, and we still own a lot of positions in the portfolio. So if the market starts to rally, it's as easy as just taking off that hedge right away, and it just gives us some insurance because, like I said, absolutely no one knows what can happen, and insurance can be a good thing, and we can take it off right away. So bottom line, broad-based rally today, and we're just still expecting some more volatility into the end of the week with the election and FOMC, and a lot of earnings as well. Some of the payment processor stocks begin to report later this week, specifically Affirm, Upstart, Toast. They all report November 7th. Alrighty, let's get into the chart. So pretty nice day for the portfolio, especially when you have a name closing the day up 37%. So yeah, I mean, let me turn this stochastic off here. So yeah, you can't really ask more from this. Gapping up on 557% above average volume, closed the day up almost 40%. And you can see these numbers are good. And just a lot of the IPOs have been acting really good. Reddit last week, A-Lab today. You had Kava and ARM earlier this year. So this has definitely been a trend. And we'll be looking to add on to this as well on, a tight inside day consolidation. But I'll pull up the intraday and you can see had a huge overnight gap and then just broke that opening range and just continued all day. And the numbers were fantastic. I mean, you can look down here and yeah, so can't really ask for much more from an earnings gap. And you can see it starting to get ants characteristics down there. But nice to see that today. Palantir was another highlight, up 23% on the day, 254% above average volume. Just super strong numbers. And, a lot of people always talk about how expensive Palantir is. It's got a PE of 118, but the best stocks get more and more expensive, and that's how it's always happened if you go back and look in history. But this is finally just breaking out through these previous highs, going all the way back to 2021. Pretty epic move. It hit as low as 6 down here, and now it's all the way back. And clearly, this is one of the leading top stocks to own in the AI race, and the CEO had some very positive commentary on the earnings call. So we'll be watching this one as well. Reddit, another holding of ours, and another IPO that I was just mentioning. Super strong day today. 3-day pullback, never violated that gap low, and really I'll just pull up the intraday, just opened and then just up all day. Really nice, huge volume today, almost double average, and this one continues to act well. And I think I mentioned this before, but only 233 funds own this stock, and they got 90% gross margins, they had 68% sales, 420% increase in earnings. So all the numbers line up and the price action. So this is a good one to watch moving forward. VRT, we mentioned about potentially taking it off the 21 on the yesterday's video, but strong upside reversal off the 21 today and reclaiming that 109.27 pivot. Good to see there. CLS, big time earnings winner as well. Just great action. Gap up, pull back to the 8, flag out, and move higher. This one definitely a leader. Pull up the weekly, even the monthly. You can see this is coming out of a huge base. I mean, it hasn't topped out in 2000, and it's just approaching those highs now. Carvana continues to be strong. Another one that had a strong earnings gap. Undercut the gap low, held the 8, now moving higher. XPO, nice little chart here in a transport breaking out of this flag. Bitcoin, mentioned that already. Sprouts Farmers Market, this continues to move higher. This is just a beautiful trend here. NVIDIA, nice action today. I would like to see this get back above 140, and that would be positive. But kind of what we mentioned, moving from 100 all the way to 144, it's a pretty big move. And then now we're getting that handle action. So strong breakout through 140 with volume, I think would make this one look pretty good. Dell, this looks good. Super clean and simple, flat base. With everything going going on with SMCI, Dell stands to benefit. And if you've actually listened to any of the NVIDIA earnings calls, Jensen, who is the NVIDIA CEO, he always talked very highly of Michael Dell and just how important they are. So maybe he knows. And so this is kind of starting to break out of this flat base, looks good. And, notice the relative strength line here was lagging that whole time, and now it's starting to firm back up. Roblox, another, 2020 growth stock that gapped up on earnings, flagging here, looks good. MSTR continues to hold the 21 day. This obviously was a big move, so maybe it needs time to consolidate a little bit here, but as long as it holds the 21 day, it's looking good. Instacart, new all-time high today, breaking out of this flat base. We own this in-house as well. This one continues to act really good. LNG, we added this one as well, just for, kind of oil and gas, natural gas. And this is trying to come out of a nice looking base. SMR, holding the 21 day, might need more time to consolidate, but the nuclear alternative energy industry group continues to be strong. Toast, earnings in 2 days, looks good. Twilio, day 4, higher high, tons of strength here. Team, flagging here very nicely. Deckers, holding the 50 day and just kind of in this cup and handle base. And then Kava, just sitting at the 21 day. And then some other notable action. GEV, new highs today. This is the leader in the alternative energy sector because we saw, CEG gap down on earnings below the 50 day, but maybe this one just needs to form another base. VST is another one held right at the 50 day. Now it's coming back up. So that one looks good. And then there's names like TLN's another one, utility more so. This had some news that prompted a gap down, something with Amazon, and then it got bought right back up, and it's looking to break out of this flag. And then you have other ones like NRG. This is kind of coming out of a nice looking base, breaking this down trend line. So this one looks pretty good as well. So that's the 21 over 21 list. Let's take a look at the big eight, just see what Tesla was really strong today and just kind of frustrating a little bit, but it undercut this gap low, reclaimed higher, and this one looks good. We're still watching this very closely. And if it gets back above 265, 270, like we've been talking about, that might fuel this breakout that we're looking for. Meta bouncing off the 50 day, forming a nice little downtrend line flag here. Amazon coming right into this 200 level. Bezos likes to slam it down every time, but I'd imagine once he's done, this can finally break out because the chart looks good. Netflix, one of the best looking big tech names, looking to break out of this earnings flag. Microsoft, kind of tight range below the 200 day. So I'd like to see this get back above. Apple below the 50 day, but continues to hold this 220 spot. So this is the low end of the range. Oops. So this is the low end of the range. So expect it to hold. And then Google gapped up on earnings and pulling back into the 21 day. So good to see the market bouncing back today. We'll see. Tomorrow should be very interesting, along with the overnight action, what the futures are doing, and basically just taking it day by day and see what the market tells us rather than trying to predict. In these times, you always see so many people trying to predict what the market's going to do, and there's really no benefit into that. We come prepared with multiple different scenarios, and then what the market tells us, and then that's how we react. So that is going to wrap it. As always, like to hear from you. My email is connor@revereasset.com. And you can always reach out to Dan or Don at revereasset.com. Phone is 855-REAL-WEALTH. That is 855-732-5932. And we name our flagship portfolio GROTECTION. It serves a dual mandate to grow assets in uptrends and protect in downtrends. And if you're ever interested in becoming a client, you can always reach out. And with that, I'll wrap it for Tuesday, November 5th. This is Connor Bates with Revere Asset Management, telling it like it is. Thanks for watching, listening. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and have a good rest of your night.